This week we're starting with the basics. Manifestation and how it starts at the cellular level. God made the human body so that we have no choice but to manifest. So what is manifestation? Contrary to popular belief, manifestation is not just getting what we want. Manifestation starts with accepting that we create everything in our lives, both good and bad. Every person we hate or love, every situation we hate or love, we manifested. Manifestation is the realization that as we raise and lower our vibration, we attract certain things to us. So let's start with the basic building block of life, the atom. Everything in our world and universe is made up of atoms. The air that we breathe is made up of oxygen atoms. Every physical thing in our world, including the human body, is made up of hydrogen, oxygen, carbon, and nitrogen atoms. So how are atoms structured? Everyone might remember from school us learning about the Bohr model of the atom. In the middle, there's a nucleus, and there are protons and electrons going around the nucleus. The nucleus makes up the mass of the atom, which means it makes up the weight of the atom. But the nucleus is not what makes up the atom's volume. The electron cloud is what makes up the volume of the atom. The electron cloud is 98% energy. Going forward in these videos, I'm going to say that 98% of our world is energy. The reason that we come to this conclusion is because if everything is made up of atoms, and 98% of the volume of an atom are electrons. Electrons do not hold any mass. They're basically just energy going around the nucleus. So since the volume of the atom comes from the electron cloud, we're going to simplify by saying 98% of the atom is energy. And if 98% of the atom is energy, atoms make up our entire world. We're going to say that 98% of the world is made up of energy. In order to simplify it, we're going to say 98% of the world, 98% of our universe is made up of energy. So when Bohr was creating the model, he did that work in the early 1900s. This is the wording of the description of how electrons move in an atom. So electrons can only hold a certain orbit. And when they jump to a higher level, they absorbed light. Falling to a lower level, emitted light. When I read this was like a whole sermon to me, because this is literally the manifestation principle in a nutshell. And this work has nothing to do with on purpose. It doesn't purposely have anything to do with manifestation, but it's literally explaining the manifestation principles. So let's read that again. Electrons could only occupy certain orbits. So in this example, the electron is the human being. We are made of atoms. Every atom is made up of electrons. The electrons could only hold a certain orbit. When they jumped to a higher level, they absorbed light. In the manifestation principle, in order for us to be congruent with the things that we want in life, we have to raise our vibration. In order to raise our vibration, we have to elevate our level of light. Next week, we'll talk about the different levels of vibration. But in order to raise our vibration, we have to absorb light, meaning we have to absorb more of God's love, more universal love, more love of our planet, more love of our fellow human being, more love of ourselves. So when the electrons absorb this light, they jumped to a higher level. That's literally what raising our vibration is, absorbing more light and jumping to a higher level. Falling to a lower level means that they emitted light. So when we go down to, as people are starting to use the term, low vibrational things, we release our light, we emit our light, we're letting go of light. So just on a basic cellular level, this shows how the human body and how the universe is set up for the manifestation principle. So then I searched up Why do electrons jump to a higher level? Electrons jump to a higher level in an atom when they gain enough energy to overcome the force that holds them in a lower state. Come on now. Come on now. I need somebody to catch this sermon about God literally created the atom with manifestation principles. So we don't even need to, many people think that manifestation and law of attraction is woo-woo, but God literally put it in the basic principles of the atom that is the building block of our entire universe. I'm going to read it again. Electrons jump to higher levels when they gain enough energy to overcome the force that holds them in a lower state. That is what manifestation is. When we focus our energy on ourselves, when we focus our energy on love and light, we eventually overcome the energy that is holding us in the lower state. So that includes things, when I say focus on ourselves, I don't mean getting a manicure, pedicure, and buying nice things. I mean things like eating the right foods, grounding, meditation, prayer, things that when we focus on ourselves and our connection to God, to love and light, then we can pull ourselves out of the energy that's holding us in the lower state. This is how the atom functions. So if this is how the atom functions and we're made of atoms, we have no choice but to function that way. So what are some things that we can do this week to bring ourselves closer to the light so that we can release ourselves from the lower energy state? First thing is we have to actually get outside. The sun is God's light. He gave us the most simplest way to connect to being out in sun, being out in nature. Every day that we face the world, we're faced with so many negative things. So an easy thing that we can do is every day when we come home from a day at work, a day at school, is just to take a few minutes and go outside and do some grounding. Put our bare feet on the ground. The earth actually absorbs the negative ions out of our body, basically helps us clear our energy. Okay, you guys, that's it for this week. I've gone this route with the teaching process because I'm surrounded by intelligent people every day. But sometimes our intelligence can hinder us from doing what we need to do in life. And so a lot of people say that manifestation, law of attraction, is just some type of woo-woo feely thing, and it's not based in reality. So we're starting with the basics of showing how not only is it based in reality, but God set it up so that we have no choice but to follow the manifestation principles. Okay, you guys, this is Dr. Dawn. Remember that you have everything you need already within you, and be the light that you want to see within the world.